What's up, BBN and sports fans? Welcome back to another episode of ARC 360. I'm AJ.
And I am Perry.
All right, today we're going to be covering the latest recruiting news for the Cats. We're going to be giving our reaction on the Tyran Stokes decision, and we're going to be taking a look at how the Cats UK stacks up in the SEC going into next season. So if that sounds like something you guys are interested in, sit back, lock in, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive right into it. So, P, I wish I had some good news for us. I do not. We didn't get them.
Nope, we did not. And I'd like to say I feel some type of way, but it is what it is. A little disappointed for sure. Number one player in the country or one of two schools,
right.
But again, it is what it is. We got to keep moving on.
I hear you, and you know, and I'm pretty sure some fans probably feel the same way. He trolled us a little bit, and we'll talk on. We're going to talk on that a little bit later. But I think it just draw the recruit process. The decision, I guess, it took so long. I know a couple people were kind of just like, I'm kind of over the, I don't know, just tease. You understand? Yeah. Come here, don't come here, or whatever. So, I guess for some people, they're just happy that it's over.
Yeah, it was a long. I thought longer than necessary, but when I signed my letter of intent, it was November going into my senior year, and I was done with it.
Right.
But also, I didn't have Nike money and all sorts of deals.
It's a whole different time now.
A whole new ball game here. So I guess I get it from his standpoint. You draw it out and get all you can out of it. But I'm one of those where I'm like, I'm happy it's done.
Right.
And we're not waiting on anything, and we're just continuing to build our roster.
And we're going to talk on that too, man. But I have to ask, you talked about, kind of that money deal. It's speculated that Tyran Stokes kind of had a agreement with Kansas before, maybe not before we came into the picture, but before he came on his visit.
Yeah, I saw that.
It just doesn't seem right.
I feel used, man.
And that's kind of what I meant when I said he trolled us. He definitely trolled us a little bit. If there's any truth to that, if there's any truth to that, but it has me thinking on a I guess a big picture here. What's going on with the University of Kentucky? I think, and not just from a basketball perspective, I haven't seen anything like this. I don't want to say they're getting picked on or anything like that, but this is a new look. This is a new look. I don't know if this is against Coach Pope or if this is just. I mean, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I mean, this entire recruiting session, I feel like UK has kind of been a laughing stock. I mean, for everybody.
Yeah. I think
what's going on with that now?
We are one of the schools that will always go after top players, and the top players are the ones that are always in the media.
Right.
So you'll always hear about their decisions. UK is almost always in the mix. So when we don't get a kid, then I guess you get made fun of. I don't know. I feel like you're supposed to go after the top guys, or either guys that fit your system or the top guys, and hopefully that Venn diagram is a full circle. But if it's not, then you got to deal with.
If I'm gonna be honest with you, like I said, just from what I'm saying, and here's another thing: the top recruit. I want to say in the next year's class, videos. Coach Pope's out going fishing with him. We just missed the big fish, and so I guess he's going for next year. But this season's going to mean a lot for him. Whether he's going to be able to coach that young man or not, it's going to rely a lot on how the team performs this year. But back to my original question. Like I said, it's just something about the I don't know. I don't want to blame Coach Pope, but it's hard for me to. I don't know if he's established a culture or if the culture is just kind of built off of his character, you know. And so when I look around and I see maybe him being, I talked about it a while back, where it's just like, you know, he's kind of the laughing stock, you know, out of all the coaches, kind of for being a cornball, you know.
Yeah.
But and that's why I mentioned Jamal Crawford would really help add that cool factor. But again, we don't have him. Not just the top recruits, but everyone. I just feel like is kind of laughing at the program right now, and it's not a good look.
Yeah, but think about it. During our time, even before we got to Kentucky, like, I don't know how much you were watching them before, but we only remember up to Tubby, at least in our lifetime. Like, yes, Pitino was the coach in the early 90s,
Right.
but I was not watching Kentucky basketball in the early 90s. I was 7 years old. But we only know of Tubby's tenure and then Billy for two, because
True.
we're a part of it, and we know that whole thing, the ins and outs.
So much fun.
Yeah. And then we saw Cal, like Tubby and Cal, like successful coaches, and that's what we saw.
Right.
And now we're seeing Pope, who I would call his first season a success, but that second season riddled with injuries. Like, that was a disappointment.
I hear you.
There's a reason, but it was disappointing. And now in his third year, this is his make or break, or at least I think it's his make or break year.
It's looking like it's going to be a break. If I'm going to be honest with you, it's looking like it's going to be a break. The ice is very, very thin. The ice was thin going in to this season. And you brought up some points that were kind of interesting to me, because I know with Tubby, kind of the conversation around Tubby, especially with his national championship, was the ties to Rick Pitino. Especially in the fan base and people that are familiar with Kentucky basketball, they're going to say Rick Pitino had some sort of an influence.
Maybe.
With Tubby's national championship team. And now, with that being said, I do think that Tubby was able to establish his own culture. All right. And he had his own accomplishments, you know, and he recruited guys, and he, you know, was able to get a couple good, you know, NBA players, you know what I'm saying, and whatnot. But then there's the, then you have Coach Pope and his ties to Rick Pitino. And I know, man, when I talk about that look that he has, where it's just, you know, kind of that cornball look, I mean, I've heard from people who talk to people inside about how even the players looked at his relationship with Coach Rick Pitino. You know, like Rick Pitino's the alpha, Pope's right underneath him. You know, and then you understand? Kind of being the joke there.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And
I see it.
Again, if I ever coached a college game, I obviously would not reach out to my old college coaches to do anything, but, you know, I would take you guys out. I'd take them out to dinner after I beat them. After I beat their program. You know, I mean, if I lose, I'm not picking up the phone.
Don't talk to me.
I'm not picking. You understand what I'm saying? I'm that competitive.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I mean, I couldn't imagine, you know, reaching out and asking for advice when we're peers at that. You know, sometimes your idols have to become your rivals.
Yep.
Right? And I don't know if maybe the players see it and it's kind of echoing out, you know, but somehow or another, it looks kind of weak, especially going into this recruiting. We lose Donnie Freeman. You know what I'm saying, to St. John's.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, just right from underneath you. You know, but again, how do you think this Stokes decision, especially with the potential that maybe he already signed with Kansas or has had some kind of agreement going with Kansas before he made his visit this way? I mean, what does that look like? I mean, how informed can you be as a coach when that's what's going on?
Yeah, you just got to play that by ear. Like, if that was the case, then it's not a great thing to do.
That's a terrible look.
Right, but if it's not against the rules, then he's just playing ball and we're just playing ball.
Okay.
But if you want to stop stuff like that in the future, make a rule against it. You sign with the school, and that's the school you're going to play at, you don't get any more visits.
Right. Well, I'll tell you right now, I'm not necessarily, okay, it doesn't feel the best, but I'm not necessarily mad at Stokes. But I guess kind of when I look at Pope, I think about kind of the moves that I felt like were made because of pressure that was applied and going after Tyran Stokes. You know, there's some coaches that aren't on the coaching staff anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and I think they might have been decent for recruiting. You know, we do have Mo Williams, but we don't have Tyran Stokes. You know, we don't have really any of the top recruits that we're going for. Slims in Arkansas. You know, so that's one of those deals where, from where I'm looking, I guess it's just a little bit frustrating when I sit back and I don't want to say it's looking gloomy, but it's not looking bright going into this next 2026-27 season, because the SEC has actually got some pretty good teams, you know, going into, and that's just the SEC.
Yeah.
That's just the SEC. We play Kansas, and we have that here. The State Farm Classic, right? And that's going to be November 9th, all right? And so we'll play Kansas. We got the matchups, you know what I'm saying? Duke's no slouch. Michigan State's no slouch. Well, we already know that after last year. You know what I'm saying? So, sorry, after last year, we learned that lesson. So, even then, you know, we got some national powerhouses we're going to have to go against. SEC is going to be stacked again this year. Arkansas's even with Kansas getting some top recruits, Arkansas is still looking like they're in the #1 recruiting class.
Yeah.
You know, we'll talk about that here a little bit, but it's just, you know, going into this year, this whole recruiting process, I feel like we've been trying to put it together and figure out how Coach Pope's going to do it.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
That hill's getting higher and higher.
Yeah, it would be easier to see if we were on the inside and you could see his like vision board. You see this doesn't happen, then you go to this, blah blah blah. So really, all we're doing is guessing, and actually we're seeing what guys he actually gets in first, and then we're guessing on the rest, and we'll let him finish the puzzle. But I mean, I still got faith in him because this season hasn't even happened yet.
I hear you.
So, but once it does, and this season goes poorly, I'm not saying fire the man, but if he does get fired, I wouldn't be surprised, because that's.
I will say this, P. You're a good guy, because if I'm being honest, I'm losing faith. I kind of needed this recruit. I needed this pickup going into this next season. You know, again, when I'm looking at some of the guys that we have coming in, and I'll talk about it here a little bit later, but it's just, again, putting it together, you know, that whole team, we'll talk about how is putting this team together and how they're going to stack up with some of these other teams in the SEC. You know, and I like to be realistic. We needed a strong scorer.
Yeah.
That's just had it not been him. I mean, if there was someone like that caliber, possibly, then I would say, okay, even if we just got a B or a C, but we needed someone that was just we talked about it, just a bona fide bucket, a certified bucket.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that was that's something I was hoping for.
There's going to have to be a lot more coaching for Pope this coming season if you don't have a guy like that. Like, you still got a coach. If you got one of the top dogs in the country.
I hear what you're saying.
Like, a lot of it, you can roll the ball out, put him in a position, and make sure everybody else reacts to what he's doing. Not the entire game, but most possessions.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But now that you don't have a dude like that,
right, you gotta
start moving some pieces around. Like, you gotta really control the game.
Start doing the thinking.
Yeah, and I know Pope has that in his system. Like, he ain't a dumb dude, but he's got to prove it.
Right.
He's got to show us.
That's the last thing I'll say on that one, because I agree with you 1,000%. But I think about his competition, and that if that's the game that we're playing, well, then he's going to have to match the intellect of his peers, and that's where even just I know he beat Coach Pitino this last season, but I guess if I have to be honest, I credit that victory to JQ and Lowe. I think that them showing up and not being able to be scouted, accurately or anything like that, and I think they were definitely the X factor. No one's going to argue that. Pope said it himself for 12 minutes or however long. Yeah. We had the team we envisioned, and I said it. That was a national championship team. But again, so I mean, he won, but again, his dependency, a guy that has to go out and lean on his old coach for advice in tough times, I worry about him and his ability to solve problems, which is what we're talking about. Because he's going to have to solve some of these problems for some of these guys when they run up and their matchup they're not going to be as good as the guy that they're going up against.
Yeah. But I don't want to compare an incomplete team to his first team. But I'll tell you, the most nervous I had been in Pope's first season was Duke. I'm like, is Cooper Flagg going to give us 50?
Right.
Please don't do this. Like, don't do this.
Right.
But we had guys to stay in the game. They went out, they guarded, and on one of the last plays of the game, now, it was a simple thing.
Right.
That you and I would have seen it because we played basketball, just like Pope played basketball and he coached. He knew they were going to Cooper Flagg, just like everybody else knew. He's going to that left hand, spinning back to the middle, and Coach Pope said it. So obviously he's watching film. He's like, they're going to Cooper Flagg. We know this. He's gonna go to his left, spin back to the middle. I need somebody there to tip the ball away. And sure enough, it happened. We got the steal, went the other way, foul, game's done.
True.
So can he do that more often than not? Because without a top dog, you're going to need that a lot more. Like, players make plays, but if you don't have players, then you got to do it for them.
I hear you.
You got to pull out a Billy G. You know what he used to tell us in the huddles.
Oh yeah, no, he's gonna have to be armed with the X's and O's.
Yep.
He's not gonna be able to have an off day. He's gonna have to spend some late nights, really studying not just the opponent but his team. Yep. Injuries can't happen.
No.
Cannot happen.
You got to get with the training staff and
and shape can't be one of those things we have to question.
Yep.
Strength and conditioning can't be one of those things we have to question. I think that for too many different occasions last season, that was something that we looked at and questioned.
Yeah.
Is this the reason for this? Are these guys fatigued? What's their strength and conditioning regimen? Is it up to par? Right? And you don't want to have to think that when you're talking elite, high major basketball. So these are just things he's really going to have to lock into next season. I mean, they cannot be an excuse. They can't be an excuse, but
excuses will get you fired in year 3.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now. I think, and so again, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Going into this entire recruiting NIL season or this off season, however, he was on the hot seat. I mean, from I was going to say the first game, but I think Big Blue Madness, the first time people get a chance to watch these guys in action, they're going to be very critical, skeptical, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not, I get it. I get it.
Yes.
I might be right there with them a little bit.
Of course.
I'm going to be wearing blue and white, but, I'll definitely be a little, concerned. On a bright note, I will say I like the pickup Usman. Usman Njai. Njai, I think I said it right.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
that sounds right.
There you go. All right. Look at me sounding all cultured. But so I watched his highlights. I've seen this kid play or this guy play. Now he's really talented, especially when you're thinking not for like the NBA right away, but to be playing in college. He's a talented pickup.
Yeah.
6'11", again, played in the top league in Italy, and I want to say that means something. The EuroLeague is very competitive.
Absolutely.
So he looks a little slim, but something about, I don't know, over there, that's just the strength. It's just a different level of, so I like that pickup.
Yeah.
You think he might emerge as our star player next season? Based off of the guys we have right now, or do you know we're going after anyone who could potentially be better?
Not with as much upside as him. Like, if he's doing that at 6'11", that's very guard-like.
I was going to say, you're talking moving from how he moves from the wing to the from the back and forth from the wing to the basket and stuff, right?
Like, I'm not calling him Wimby because he's regular sized, but
He's so special.
But that kind of like height, wingspan, being able to handle the ball and shoot it, I think he has the most upside of this squad so far.
Right.
But hell, we've got a lot of good guards, and we know guards win in March. But it's like, yeah, you can have the big man be your best player.
They do.
But if you don't have solid guard play, then you got to get really lucky 6 games in a row.
Yeah. Well, I will say Vandy's inside game definitely helped them in the postseason.
Ooh, yeah.
There are a couple teams definitely getting into that postseason, deep into the postseason, where you're getting a flash of some of that front court madness, or however you want to look at it. Those bigs are just making their presence felt, and I guess up in their stock going into the draft and things like that, or the portal, however you wanted to say. But I'm a fan of watching big guys kind of assert themselves in the game and have a place in the game. I love watching guards light it up and score at the basket and make crazy. But again, I love it. So I do think that he seems like usually when you have teams that are guard heavy, they play the pace is faster. And when I look at him, I don't think that'll be a problem. He just has a frame, and the style of play just seems like he'll be able to do well in like a transition game. Yeah. Stretching the floor out and being able to keep the tempo. So again, big pickup. Yeah. If you ask me, I think when I look here, I think he said 20 in 27 minutes he was averaging 10 and 6, but that was again
that's against professionals.
I mean, exactly. That was against professionals and some of the best of the best. But if I have to be honest with you, it's not the most impressive. I do think he'll probably emerge as somebody that'll have a good year for us. I actually looked, and I don't want to say this is 100% true, but we talked about how some of the guys just going into, how you have the transfer portal and all this type of stuff and whatnot. But I think it said here, and 2-year, $4.3 million with a buyout after 1 year, and if that's true, that would be, that's fine. Because I was thinking at 22, I didn't know how many years he'd be able to play for us anyway. Right. But just the idea to think that we're going into that whole era where it's like, all right, if you're going to go into the portal, it'll cost whoever wants to pick you up. Yeah.
We're putting a lot of legwork for overseas players.
For sure. Well,
just like everybody else.
I was going to say,
everybody else does too.
They do. There's a lot. There's some barriers you have to go through to kind of get approval and citizenships and all types of stuff like that. So, yeah, it's definitely okay. Last question I'm going to ask you this: if you had to pick between Donnie Freeman or Usman and Jai, who would be Who would be your pick?
How big is Freeman? Wasn't he like 6'8"?
I would say he's like 6'9",
6'9",
6'9", maybe 6'10". Let's say he's 6'10". Usman is 6'11".
I don't know. I gotta go with Usman.
Yeah, because he's our guy now.
Well, that too. If I didn't think he was a very good player, I would have just been like,
he's not that right.
He's not that great. But I think, like I said, he's got the most upside.
Okay.
So I would go with him. But also, him being so like tall and skinny, I'm like, I see myself in that guy. Mm-hmm. Like, I wanted to play like that. Be able to run up and down, shoot threes. I probably shot like 10 threes over my 4 years.
Yeah, but I watched his highlights. I haven't seen him really dunk on anyone. I was as a friend, man. That dunk was kind of sick against UNLV. I watched his highlights. I ain't seen him do that yet. I mean, maybe he'll do it when he gets out here, but I haven't seen him do it over there in Italy. So, so let me ask you this: what about Jerome Morton? We pick up Jerome Morton, right, from Fort James Madison. No.
That's McBride.
That's McBride. I'm thinking about McBride. Morton's from Washington State.
Started off at Moorhead.
That's the kid from. He's from Kentucky.
Yep.
He's actually from Kentucky.
He went.
So he's returning.
Yeah, he went to GRC in Winchester, George Rogers Clark High School.
Is that right?
And he may be like from Fayette County, but Fayette, Winchester, I don't remember the county name, but same thing.
How's he ball?
I think I saw a game in the Sweet 16. He played. Did he play Reed? I want to say he played Reed Shepherd.
Okay.
And ended up winning that game. But you know how a lot of people like to talk where, he played so good against Reed Shepherd, but they're just being nice because he's on the team now. But I actually think he can play. So I want to watch some more of his highlights. But it takes a lot to win a state championship in Kentucky.
For sure.
There's
only one.
Yeah, there's just one. There's no divisions, no nothing.
True that.
So you got to really, and to be the star player on the team, you got to really be a dog. So I'm gonna watch
something for sure.
I'm gonna watch some more of his like college highlights, because again, I saw him in high school, but that's high school. Everybody that's halfway decent looks like a man amongst boys.
I was gonna say he's not small now.
No.
When I'm looking at, he's not small. Okay, we're gonna have some size now. All right, so we got him and who was the last one I was thinking?
And then McBride was the other.
McBride was the guy we got from
James Madison, where Preston Spradlin is. He was on the staff my freshman year.
Okay. So
maybe he was with Billy, but he started with Tubby for sure.
And he's probably going to come off the bench behind Cam, more than likely.
Yeah, he is more of a strong four that can shoot it.
Okay. All right. Well, the team's coming together, man. The team's coming together. So we were talking over some of the recruiting news for the Wildcats and the hurt of not getting Tyran Stokes, but really kind of saying what that means and going over our roster and just kind of taking a look at kind of the pieces we have going into this next season. And at this point, I kind of want to ask, how do you think, I guess we have the SEC conference that we have to play in, and we have Arkansas has the #1 recruiting class, but then you have Florida, who's a problem for us. I'm not a big fan of Ty Golden, but he's got a lot of vets coming back. He's going to be loaded this year. You mentioned earlier that Coach Pope is going to have to really be on his A game, coaching-wise. You really think he's got it to beat some of these teams and to really make a push this season?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think he's got it somewhere in that brain of his.
Where? I want to be optimistic. I really do. But how? Now you did say I guess he could be a doctor if he wanted to.
Yeah, he would. He went to medical school.
So he's a pretty smart guy.
Like Columbia Medical School.
I hear you, and I get it. Columbia, but
it doesn't always translate.
This might require rocket science, Perry.
Yeah.
Can he build a rocket?
That's two different disciplines. And
this is a really steep hill to climb.
Yep. Now he can't be a coach that wants to micromanage the entire game. Like that's where your dudes come in.
Right.
Like they get you, either they're blowing a team out or they are good enough to keep it close with a team that's better than you on paper. And while it's close, all right, get into that bag of yours, MP.
Yes.
And see what happens. But he's got to have that. Like those types of scenarios will come up in a game. Like we all know ATOs. That's your time to work.
Right.
But your first play of the game, halftime, and at the end, or when dudes are going on a run, and you're like, all right, let's get a timeout.
Yeah.
Come out. That's where your ATO. Like, let me work, and then I'll give you a push, and you all keep it rolling until it's my time to shine again.
Right.
So I hope dudes he's bringing in are able to keep him afloat while he can get in his bag when needed. But I've got faith in him, and again, if not, then he gets let go. Like I'm not a Coach Pope stan. I am a Kentucky head coach stan, and whoever's in that position, I will root for you until you are not.
That. I respect that wholeheartedly because, again, I am too. That's how I got here in this situation. If I'm going to be honest with you, and maybe listening to you a little bit, because if I had to tell you, deep down in my heart, going into the season, I was thinking, I don't really know, how we're kind of doing with the high school recruits. I know this is kind of an important time, and so we're kind of behind the eight ball. And so I just wanted to trust the process, and it's not really unfolding the way I envisioned. I don't think it's unfolding the way that the coach kind of envisioned. So I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm losing a bit of confidence, and I'm to the point now where I'm worried more about the ship. I understand there's a captain, but I kind of don't want the ship to get scratched up, if you will. And it reminds me of where I was at the end of the season, going into next season. I was kind of thinking, how much more damage can the ship take? Should we replace the vessel or replace the captain while we're docked?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Before we take off again and we can't do anything about it, should we get somebody else in there? You know what I mean? And we've already left the docks, and so that's kind of where we are. But I'm nervous. I'm looking out for icebergs. I'm the guy on the cruise with my life jacket on, just in case.
We're on the boat, but
I'm on the boat.
Got a life jacket.
Exactly. I have my life jacket on, and that's for my just peace of mind, right?
Yep.
But I'm just being honest with you. I do root for him because I root for the program.
Yep.
I do a lot of bragging, and so I don't like to have to listen to other people brag to me when you're like us, when you do a lot of UK, people kind of really look they
can't wait till your downfall,
right?
Oh, they can't wait.
That downfall. I mean, they.
Yep.
I mean, they're soaking it up. They love it.
Yep.
And so, we'll weather the storm.
Yep.
It's not the worst thing. Let me ask you one big question here. Random, a little bit off topic, on topic a little bit. We talked earlier about my guy Malachi. Maybe he comes back. Depending on, you said if he's got a first round, if he's going to be lottery for sure, you got to go ahead and take that. Okay, I don't think he's going to be a lottery. But what do you think about if you have the opportunity to go, again, first round, maybe early second round? And this is just me being realistic here, because he's a big part of the team, right? If we're talking about who we're going to put out there, we know he's the starting five, no question. But you think that maybe he's thinking about the outcome and the team that he has to potentially come back to? Because it's not the same team as last year. if you think about it, there are a lot of guys that he probably built a relationship with that aren't there this year. You know, you think that that's something that Malachi might consider before, you know, I mean, maybe he doesn't get a lottery offer, but they say you might go first round. You know, does he stay in? Does he develop on an NBA roster or here?
So what I think is he's coming back regardless.
Okay.
But he's not a high lottery. Again, this is just my opinion.
Okay.
I think he's coming back, but also I think it would be a good thing that we don't have last year's team because we saw how that turned out. How badly do you want a relationship with dudes and winning? Like, you have to be able to balance that out. If I get to play with my best friends, but I'm losing every game, that's not going to last
It's
very
not
long
going to be
for
fun.
me.
Right, it's not going to be fun. For
No.
sure.
But
For
I also
sure. It'll be
don't...
miserable. You probably won't be friends long.
Right.
Right.
But I also don't want to trade in potential lifelong friendships for trying to win as many games as we can, but also I want to win. So maybe I think about this. But you just find a happy medium, get to work, and the results, like, it'll work out for you in the end.
Right.
If you like the people you work with and you all stay the course and trust the process, like, the winning will take care of itself because we've got good enough players.
Right.
But that's also a key. You have to have good enough players because you can do all the work you want. If you ain't good enough, then you ain't winning.
True. 1,000%. Yeah, you definitely gotta put that work in, man. I'm thinking when I look at our roster here, we got Cam. He's got a relationship with Malachi, and you mentioned something earlier. I got to comment. I would take a lot of those. I would take a Colin Chandler. I mean, you know, and Alex is a good pickup. I will say I think that might be a good trade-off. But again, we might not have achieved everything we wanted to, but I wanted Stokes because I wanted us to be able to have someone that we can rely on similar to like a Owe. I mean, again, we just need somebody that knows how to really operate at that position, you know? And so, again, I guess that's just kind of where I am. You know, your leader's gone, a few guys, Trent, I mean, there are a few guys coming back. So we don't know. We don't know. That's just my speculation. I was just asking if you're going to, if I had an opportunity, if I had an opportunity to go, and I guess you wouldn't know who's going to pick you up or anything like that, but it's not going to be high demand or anything like that, but maybe you get the opportunity to get good minutes, you know, but again, if you're going to go there and your agent or whoever, they're like, oh, you're going to be in the developmental league, then I probably will just come right back, you know, and spend my time, you know, in college. But if I have an opportunity to kind of make that, you know, that main roster and stay on that main roster and be able to train, get in and out of games, you know, and just kind of get an early head start on that NBA journey, I was just saying that I don't know, because I think Stokes, a lot of the other guys, when you look at the roster, they have to look at if the pieces work for them as well. And I guess maybe that's what I'm asking is, I don't know if that's something that Tyran Stokes is, or Malachi is going to be doing the same, you know, kind of seeing how these pieces are going to work out for him and how he'll be able to fit in, you know, that next season. So it's getting late here in the studio. So with that, I'm with you. I'm rooting for Kentucky all the way. And but I just got to be honest with you. I think that this year some of the fans are gonna be a little bit on edge and just kind of they're gonna want to see something, just something real.
Yeah. Something
real. I think we've kind of been hopeful, had our fingers crossed for a while, and it's not working. I saw a couple people throwing, flicking pennies in the fountains and stuff like that, nickels and quarters that that had the sheets out and all of that kind of stuff. So, you know, we've been hoping and wishing and hoping, but I think that we're getting to that point in the season where we got to go ahead and just take what we have, and I'm pretty sure there's a couple other pieces he'll try to get together, but I think we're just going to have to take what we have and just see what we got going. And it's going to come down to, like you said, his ability to make those X's and O's work for us.
Yeah. And
maybe you know something we don't know, something you want to tell us. I mean, is he?
I wish, but I can almost guarantee we will be a hell of a team depending on how much better Malachi has gotten. Like, if he becomes,
For sure.
if he becomes like that force down low where we can throw the ball to him, like you don't need to go get a bucket every time, but your gravity on the court needs to change.
Right.
Like if we throwing you the ball, that defense has to be sucked in towards you because they're afraid of you going straight to the rim, getting fouled. And once that happens, you can start finding people on the floor, like for open jump shots. And I think at the moment we have good enough guards. Like the guards, they are good enough, but Malachi has to be good. Like better than he was last year. We don't need him to score 20 points a game.
Right.
But I need at least 10 double-digit rebounds, and like you got to be a force in there.
And that part right there, with what you were saying, not necessarily Malachi or anybody else that's listening. If you hear this, I mean that's what it really comes down to. I'm not trying to say feed the post, let him work his jelly and things like that.
Right.
I think it's a different time in college basketball, especially in basketball in general. I think that works for the flow when there's cuts and things like that. Yep. But realistically, I see his upside being on that kind of upping the effort. That motor being if somehow you can take Malachi Marino and attach his amazing character as a human being, right? I mean, I think big heart. You know what I'm saying? Great kid.
Yeah.
Just add he has a motor. You know what that means when they write the kid has a motor. That means he might not get every rebound, but there's not, as a scout, you're watching and it's like he made an attempt for every single rebound.
Yeah.
Every time a shot went up, he was actively and not just going through the motions. He was trying to get in position for the rebound. When you do that, guys that have a motor, and you could be a 1 or a 5. If you have a motor, you get double-digit rebounds.
Yeah. It's almost like
that's a motor stat.
They just fall in your hands.
It's a motor stat, exactly. That's exactly how it works. Ironically, look at Russell Westbrook and some of the other guys. I'm saying if you have the ball goes up and you just have a drive to just go find it. It's very, very little that people are going to be able to do. They're turning their back to you. You can juke them. They can't stay in front of you backwards. You know what I mean? Like, it just put the effort into going and getting it, And so that's one thing I wish, if there was one adjustment, I think that would really be big for this team. If he just decided this season he's going to be in the best shape and he understands that the game at the next level is going to speed up, so he wants to prepare himself, and understand like he starts playing faster now, he'll be able to make that adjustment at the next level a little bit quicker. So just up your pace, end to end a little bit faster. Yeah. Apply a little bit more pressure, right, on the defense. Get back, secure our defense, and then just play with the motor. Work on your skill set in the meantime. But I think that if he's able to do that, if he's able to turn the ball back the other way, what I'm trying to say, shut down the whole side of the floor, whatever effort plays with his size and his frame. Get back in the play, grab the rebounds. You know what I'm trying to say? Get down there. Malachi, every offensive rebound you have, it's an automatic 2 points. It's an automatic 2 points.
That makes me excited thinking about him playing that way. Like that's the
answer. That's the answer for you. And I love to see it. We would love to. I mean, you'll shock the world. You do that.
That gets him to 16 to 20 points a game, just because. Having that motor, get your hands on rebounds, and the ones you don't get, your teammates get because their guy is worried about you.
Exactly.
And then they come down with it. Oh, they shovel it over to you. You dunk the heck out of it.
And you think about that. If that's how he's playing, you would think about how well he'll be able to play, but you also think him being the center, playing with that type of energy, how it's going to ripple effect and how everyone's going to play off of it. And you understand what I'm trying to say? So that to me is the way, and honestly, it's going to be rough.
Yeah.
You're going to have to get in shape. You're going to have to get in shape. You're going to have to work really hard.
Like fantastic shape.
Fantastic shape. You cannot cheat that. You can't cheat it. You can't cheat it. You're going to have to run. You have to run extra sprints. You're going to have to run sprints. You're going to have to run sprints that your teammates don't run.
Because you're treated differently.
You will have to. This is going to be the part where you're going to have to show you want it. This is something that you want. This is your own personal project.
Yeah.
And you get to reap the benefits from it. And I wish you nothing but success. But once again, with that being said, we're going to wrap up on that. And that's been another episode of ARC 360. We thank you guys for joining us today. And have a great weekend. And again, if you like this episode, hit that like and subscribe button. Share and tell everybody about it. We love comments, so if there's anything that we're missing or any feedback you want to give us, if you just want to say, hello or anything like that, we love to hear it. So, and one last thing, I want to give a shout out to, special thanks to everyone. We hit 200 subscribers. If you thought that we're too big for 200 subscribers and AJ and Perry, you're wrong. We appreciate you. We appreciate everybody. So it really does mean a lot. And so we just want to say thank you, truly. And stay tuning in, and we're just going to try to get better each week for you guys. And so with that, it's been another great afternoon. I'm AJ Stewart.
I'm Perry Stevenson.
Once again, this is ARC 360, and we're out.